welcome back to Extra Butter. I don't want some unless it got none, hun. Yeah, what's scarier than my rapping? This new movie in the Conjuring series, we're gonna be talking to the stars, that is, if any of them survive. Jennifer Garner, ready and willing and able to be your guardian angel and strike down upon thee with great vigilante vengeance. She'll be joining us, and it's like Titanic, only on a smaller boat, only in a warmer climate. Yeah, it's the worst summary ever. I know. That's why Shailene, Woodley, and the rest stopping by to talk about Adrift. That and more coming up on this edition of Extra Butter. It's a show where we talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Be sure and follow us on Facebook, Extra Butter TV. And then join us each week as I sit down with my friends and talk about movies like this. Hey, everybody.
What's up?
All right, hey, you guys. You are our friend, and now I want you to meet my friends. Join us and talk about movies like Maria Gloria. How are you?
Hey, you said my name properly. It's always, you always say Gloria Maria.
I'm sorry. Well, in roll call, it came last name first, and anyway, here you are.
You're right.
Beautiful either way.
All right. What are you talking about on YouTube these days?
Beginner basics. Everything you need to know when you're first starting off playing with makeup.
All right, I've got a zit exposed. Try not to stare at it through the whole show.
Well, now that's all I'm going to look at.
Tell me how to cover it up later on. Where do we find you on YouTube?
Maria Gloria.
There you go.
Easy enough.
Also, the world famous travel blogger, it is Kelly Savannah Deaton, ladies and gentlemen.
I keep it easy. You can find me at Kelly Savannah Deaton.
You'll see the news of her engagement from overseas.
Wow.
And Versailles.
Engagement.
Wow.
My
In
ring
Versailles.
is getting sized, people. It
Yeah,
will
right.
be here soon. Ask Tiffany's. It is there.
Ooh.
Tiffany.
Not to name drop, but you know,
Not to name
I'm
drop.
proud of it.
We'll see about that. Also, the world famous traveler, ladies and gentlemen, if he's not playing a comedy club in the U.S. or abroad or out to sea, it's Mikey Winfield gracing us with his presence.
Right.
Where do we find you online?
You know what? Go to Mike E. Winfield. There's 2 E's in the middle. Check it out. Instagram the most, but all of it. All of it. Yeah.
Speaking of searching, we're not, but you left it with nothing but a segue for that.
Right.
All right, it's not the #1 movie truly during the long weekend. Crazy Rich Asians killed it.
Yes, bravo,
However,
though.
Searching opened wide and did better than expected.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't think too much about this movie, but it was so good. The twists and turns had me the whole time. I was intensely just, the whole time. It was amazing.
It's one of those movies where I love the plot, don't get me wrong, the plot is good, but the subplot is so good. It's one of those movies that has a good plot and a good subplot, and it just, like Kelly said, keeps you twists and turns, and it's just so good.
You know, it's a tough movie if you're competing with other movies out when we're talking about abduction. You know, so then it turns the table. It's like, oh, dude, I really want to see this on this happy weekend. You know?
What would you do if one of your kids went missing?
Oh, let's not.
Yeah,
let's
not
not.
talk about
Would you go into their computer? Like, would you try to find, I mean, it's a
I would
logical
do everything
plot.
possible.
In this day and age, that's like the first place you'd have to go is into their phones, their tablets, whatever.
Also, I'd like to point out, because of the arrangement, Mike's kids are older than Mike. So, like, his kids will be looking for
They'll
him.
be looking for me. I'd be the missing one.
His kids installed Net Nanny on his computer to permit the type of browsing he's into.
Do they keep you on a leash?
We'll delete your browsing history if you ever go missing. Don't worry, we got you.
No, I got a positive browser history.
All right.
Yeah, right, it's the same.
We all do.
Debra Messing's character in this movie, loved seeing her play something like way different than Grace in Will and Grace.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's different seeing her play something so serious, but it works.
So I had trouble talking to Debra Messing because her character might or might not be exactly who you think she is. Oh, I don't want to ruin it, so I'm going to shut up and just watch this.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wild that, you know, most of your work has been ensemble or where you're getting instant kind of feedback, empathy from someone.
That's right.
But in this, like, you're on your own, baby.
I am completely alone. It was very uncomfortable. I was an island, and I never got to look into John Cho's face and act with him. All I had was a blank computer screen and a disembodied voice in my ear, in an earwig. It was John in one ear, and the director in the other ear saying, all right, move your eyes up an inch, left to an inch, more, stop. That's John's face. Action. Like, don't move your eyes.
Wow.
And so it sort of demanded more from the imagination than anything I've ever worked on before.
I want to ask you about the ending and that. Oh, suddenly now I'm getting the.
Because it's the ending.
Yeah.
She is lovely, and I would love to tell you more about her character, but I'll completely ruin this movie. I wanted to spotlight it again this week. It's not #1.
Just go watch it, though.
But
Just
go watch it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
watch it.
Don't listen to me. Listen to her.
Don't let him ruin it.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't let him
I love
ruin
the
it.
thing where she admits that she
No.
That,
You'll love how based on real life it is with technology. That's what I'll say.
Yes.
Go see it because you'll be able to relate in some way with the technology usage today.
Exactly.
It's a tech thriller.
Right.
Ooh, coin that.
Look at
Coin
that.
that.
Write that down. Write that down.
Are we not going
Hashtag.
to talk about Crazy Rich Asians, you guys?
I got
yeah.
some stuff to say about Crazy
we probably
Rich
should because
Asians.
technically it is the #1 movie at the box
Again.
office. What do you got?
Let's just talk about how Mindy Kaling, 5 tweets, guys. 5 tweets.
What did
just
she
on
say?
the movie alone. She's talking about how she loves the cinematography. It's one of the most beautiful movies. Obviously, we see Singapore, the fashion, but also she talks about the bond between mother and daughter because, as
Right.
we all know, she was super close to her mom, and she is also a South Asian woman.
Right.
And she talks about that relationship, the bond, and I mean, she's a hopeless romantic like me, so she goes hard, guys. She goes hard.
And that we have to talk about how Chris Pratt, he was one of the first people to say, I
Yes.
know you love Chris Pratt. He was
Yes.
one of the first people, if you see this, zoom in there.
Out of
Yeah.
left field too.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Chris
Yeah.
Pratt to be a fan, but everyone's a fan of this movie because of all the universal themes. We've all been there, and it's just a good rom-com.
Yes.
Oh, no. But Gabrielle Union
Oh.
and
Whoa.
Dwayne Wade, it's not on the screen. Okay? But they said,
You should have had a good picture of yourself.
Are you seeing anything?
but they said that they watched it together, her and Dwayne Wade,
Yeah.
and they floated out the theater. It was amazing. So if you can float out a theater, the movie's impressive.
Speaking of floating out the theaters, I am so sorry for all the people that now have to plan a wedding and top that. Good luck, sister.
Good luck, Kelly.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it, people. Allegedly.
Allegedly, if we ever see the ring.
I swear, I will have the ring next week. I promise.
She's
All right.
engaged, guys. She's engaged.
Yeah.
All right, let's
What I heard.
segue into something entirely different. The Nun. You ready to get your coupon on?
Are we
When
gonna
are
talk
we
about the
not?
nun again?
Yeah,
I'm
you gotta
gonna
stick
go.
around for it.
When
I
are
know.
we not are ready to talk about horror movies? People, come on.
Yeah, the one who can appreciate it probably on a deeper level than any of us admitted from last week. Not admitted, but we disclosed last week that you are Catholic.
I am
It hits
Catholic.
closer to home.
So close. So devastatingly close.
And I know I said this before, but it's kind of beautiful. The setting, it's creepy as
Yes.
hell. But all the castles and all that,
Yeah.
the time, the history, it's kind of pretty.
Yeah, there's nothing gorgeous. There's nothing pretty. There's nothing stunning about this.
Yes, the architecture, Mark.
Yes,
The
just
location.
The castle.
the architecture just has more nooks and crannies for the creepy things to hide. That's all I'm saying.
Ah,
I was there. I went to the castles. Not bragging. Somebody's got to do it.
Ooh,
you're
it
haunted.
has
Get
to
away
be
from
you.
him. There's probably ghosts following him right
Something
now.
is attached to you.
I've got some Klingons. I'll explain a little bit later on. In the meantime, Taissa talked about the funny parts in this movie. I said, yeah, parts of it are funny. And she said they have to be there. Here's why. Is there a scene that you guys have seen now that you're really looking forward to seeing it? Because a lot of this, you have to imagine what the timing and pacing in that pop-out is going to be. Is there a scene you love?
I don't know if there's a specific scene. For me, my favorite thing to do is to watch the film and see all the scenes that I wasn't in. You know what I mean? Because you read the script and you see what it's like, but there's all the scares and the other stuff. Like with there's scenes with Jonas's character Frenchie. And I don't know how they're going to play, and you watch it and you're like, oh, I can't believe I missed it. I wish I could have been a part of it.
Those are great scenes. I'm so thankful for those scenes. With no offense to either of your work, every now and then we need a break, and some of the levity helps out. Frenchie loosens us up on occasion.
We gotta make you feel comfortable so then we can take it away.
The movie's awesome. Forgive me of my trespasses. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you know what, Mark? I honestly, I could judge you, I could make fun of you, but that was literally my reaction the first time I watched The Conjuring.
See?
Yeah, 30 minutes into the movie, I booked it, and then I got a ticket next week to watch it the weekend after when there was more people in the theater.
It's self-preservation. It's self-preservation.
Yeah,
You
so
were
I'm not
doing your
judging
part.
you. Yeah,
Way to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
You got to get out of those situations.
And I will tell you
Yes.
this, they shot this movie, as you both mentioned, on location in Romania and elsewhere in these ancient places where I guarantee you people were tortured and
for sure.
murdered.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Of course they were. That's where you get the experience, or all, the vibes. You need those vibes to make a true horror movie. But wait, didn't
Right.
you go back and you talked to the director?
I did. I had holy water. I was vaping sage. Not really. Kids don't vape. But I was doing everything I could to keep myself clean when I talked to the guy because we were actually in one of the aforementioned ancient castles.
Did he
Take
take
a
his
look.
doll?
He took his doll.
Oh,
Creepy.
He took the doll.
When you enter these ancient places, talk about how it elevates the film.
It certainly adds a whole layer. I mean, for the cast, for myself, for the movie, I think everything permeates through wherever your starting point is. So with the nun being able to go to Romania and really search for these ancient buildings that have a history, and they already have like these ingrained textures, and you know, as a palette for the movie and the world that we're creating, just makes it as authentic as possible, creepy as possible, and a great sort of base backdrop to bring the story.
We have a very special celebrity guest, if we could, por favor.
Here we are.
Say hello to your little friend.
She comes with her blessing. She's having a good time.
Yep.
Check out The Nun. I highly recommend it.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, go
Don't
watch
see it
it.
once, see it twice.
Yes.
Yeah, go be afraid.
There you go. I
Be
guarantee
very
you, next week
afraid.
it's going to be close to the #1 movie, if
If
not
number one.
We'll see.
If not number one.
All right, also giving it a run for the money next weekend, Jennifer Garner opens up a can of it. Yes, Fear Thy Name, Peppermint. Why Peppermint? You'll find out when she talks to us next.
Oh, shit.
Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's the show most notably known for Mike E. Winfield's shoes. What's going on down there, pal?
Hey, man,
Look at
just
the
another
shoes.
day, man. You know what I mean?
He
You
said just
looking
another
nice
day.
and spiffy.
just another day.
And the watch while you're
right?
doing the, look at the watch
no,
too.
No, it's just,
Can we talk about how
it's
Mike is
just-
wearing Gucci?
just
I know.
vanity, just
You know what it
vanity.
is? I got a theory as to what it is.
What?
Every time he does one of these cruise ships, there's a duty-free fancy store. He's talking about the duty-free shop.
Oh, you nailed it. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Is that right?
isn't
That's
it?
exactly what it is. Yeah, that was
Either
it,
way, you
right?
always look spiffy.
Let's talk
so
about movies.
So what size do you wear? Because we could trade if that's... No?
They've lost their minds. So coming up next.
All right. Let's talk about this movie, Peppermint. Why is it called Peppermint? I don't know. You're going to have to watch the movie to find out, but it stars Jennifer Garner. I like to call this movie Jane Wick.
You know what? You know what's crazy is I like Jennifer Garner, and I'm known for seeing her in comedies. So
Yeah.
to see her in a revenge movie is great. To see someone take another path
Yes.
and exceed at it. You know.
And, you know, she hasn't done an action movie in 11 years. So she
Yes.
got right back into shape, right back in it, and she kicks
Since
in this
Daredevil,
movie.
Elektra, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She pulls it off with authenticity, and you
Yes.
might be surprised by that. A lot of people said, kind of like you said, can she do action movies? Well, yeah, 11 years ago she did Daredevil, and
Yes.
let me tell you about this. You know, 11 years ago, I was on the set. She actually took a divot out of Ben Affleck's head.
No. I don't think it was 11 years when she took a divot out of his head.
I think that was
Wait,
pretty current.
I'm just talking about movies. Let's just stick to the movies. All right.
Both are true.
All right, well, we can talk about Jennifer Garner, the human being. You're never going to find a more kind, caring, great human being. She's going through all kinds of personal stuff,
Yes.
let's admit it.
This movie was probably a good outlet for her, if you think about it. With
Yeah.
everything going on in her life, like you said, it was probably a nice release to get in there and kick some butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, to complete some artwork.
Yeah.
Real
and to do
therapy.
it.
Art
Yeah.
imitating,
Art therapy.
art imitating life a little bit.
A little bit.
Maybe because she was present and down when we talked. Take a look.
Mark, you always raise the elegance.
Are cameras rolling?
Yeah, they are. When you walk into the room, it's always like, oh, hang on a second. Let me check my posture. There's a
Nothing
gentleman
possibly...
in a double-breasted suit and whew,
I'm done. Nothing better is going to happen today. Awesome. Well, nice to see you.
nice to see you.
I was just going to say the same thing about you. I was going online to see if anything's happened in the last 15 seconds with you that I don't know about, and every other review is talking about a photo shoot you did, just kind of a step and repeat about this. Everyone's saying her glow is so distracting. She's never looked better.
oh my
She's one of
gosh.
Hollywood's most elegant people.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thanks.
And sitting here in front of you, I can say they're right. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
This movie is so awesome.
It's pretty cool.
There's a mama bear fierceness that we see
Yeah.
on your face a lot in this movie. That's legit. It has to be organic.
I haven't seen a script take such great advantage of a mom's deep rage if something happens to her child. And this movie really does. It comes, you know, it could be Jason Bourne, it could be John Wick, it could be all kinds of things, but it has to be a woman's role because it is all about, you know, what comes with motherhood, which is a whole different depth of terror and rage.
Right. I've always had mad respect for you in a multitude of ways, but having seen this movie, I now have a little bit of fear too. I gotta be honest.
Good. I like it. Thank you.
Lovely lady there. Can we give her a round of applause for just the grace and dignity with which she
Yes.
kind of slides through life?
I feel like Jennifer Garner is really the person that she played on Juno. You guys remember her character on Juno?
Nice lady.
Yeah, just loving. No
Strong.
matter what was handed to her, she stayed strong, caring, and compassionate. I just love her.
All right, go see Peppermint. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, want to stay at home and get creeped out? Hereditary hits home, all kinds of extras. We'll talk about that next. Hey, welcome Welcome back. It is Extra Butter. Oh, we're so hypocritical here, sitting in this lovely movie theater, telling you stuff that you could be watching at home if you want to.
I love how you whisper to create the ambiance.
Yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Yeah.
Movies we can watch at home.
Well,
he's whispering because this movie is terrifying and disturbing on all kinds of levels. Hereditary.
That's exactly right.
Oh, man.
I will tell you this, it's probably not the scariest movie I've seen because the pop-out scares aren't timed the way most modern movies are. They're long stretches and nothing going on.
Very slow.
But very effective when they do happen.
Yes, it's the most, I have to say it's one of the most disturbing movies I've seen all year because you leave the theater and you'll leave your living room thinking, what the heck did I just watch? Because there are so many disturbing images that you can't believe what you're seeing.
It's one of those horror movies that doesn't leave you so much scared, but like the word I guess is #shook. Like it left me so shook, and exactly like I walked off after watching this movie just being like, what the F did I just watch?
You know, and
what just happened?
And you know what they're saying is traumatized. Is
yes,
what it's
there
leaving
you
people.
go.
And partly because of the commitment of the actor. They said Alex Wolff left. He method acted for 6 months in order to really nail down a role. And that's a weird role to be method acting.
And Toni Collette, she's a phenomenal actress. Phenomenal. And this, I think, was one of the best performances of her career. And you don't usually get that in a horror movie. But she completely lost her mind on this movie. And it shows. And it was great.
I caught up with her and I said, I see dead people. I didn't say that, but I did catch up with her to talk about this. Take a look.
I think it's such a didactic thing to kind of tell audiences what they should expect because everybody comes to the cinema or any experience in life with their own experiences, and so you relate to things differently. I mean, I hope that they understand that it isn't just like another horror film full of, gratuitous scares. There is such a profound, beautiful story within this. And it is very sad and very moving, and it does become deeply shocking and upsetting.
All right, so skip, rent, or buy Hereditary.
Oh yeah, no, get it, watch it, buy it.
I don't think you should. I don't know if you should buy it, or maybe buy it because you want to show people and get them disturbed and traumatized as well. So yeah, buy it.
I'm gonna say rent it. Rent it, watch it, enjoy it, then happily hand it back.
Yeah, at your own risk.
Yes.
At your own risk. I say they should get it and they should play it on loop at all the Six Flags all over the world. Just that moment where they say, "Please keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times."
That is so
When you see it, you'll go, "Huh, I know what he's talking about."
And when you hear someone go, you'll be terrified for life.
Even that's creeping me out.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears from the scary to the sad. Why don't we? Good times. Coming up next on Extra Butter, why you should see Adrift. It does end happy. Yeah,
we are such a roller coaster of emotions this week, guys. Happy, sad, scared, we got it all.
Grab some tissues for a multitude of reasons, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. It is Extra Butter. This is what we call the doldrums, where the movies that you really need to see for the summer have been out. You've probably already seen them, and the really, really good movies are yet to come. So right now we're talking about stuff you can watch at home.
Yes.
All right, Adrift, chime in.
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing. As somebody who used to watch for fun, I Shouldn't Be Alive, like on Discovery, ID Discovery.
Yeah.
I love the stuff like that, so I love Adrift because it's a survival story, but it's also a love story, and it's based on a true story. So watch it.
Very true.
Watch it.
I like it too because I like to travel. Not this kind of traveling, though.
No.
There's a lot of, and it's an adventure disaster story, and that's the best mix.
Exactly.
No offense to the people that go through these disasters because that's very admirable. The real woman, I know you interviewed her.
Yeah, remarkable.
She survived her this whole journey, and it's a crazy good movie, and there's a lot in there that surprised me. It'll surprise you too.
I can say there's nothing like a good hurricane film. With hurricanes in movies, whether it's boxing or whether it's disasters that are natural, I think we all need to take the time to have that on and plan.
Yeah.
Exactly. This movie will remind you of just how much you need to plan before you take a journey like this. Nice call, Mike.
It'll make you cry. It'll also teach you survival tips. So who doesn't want that?
I sat down with two people who didn't get shipwrecked but said the making of this movie wasn't a far cry because they really dedicated the time to spinning it at sea, shooting it practically. I sat down with Shailene and Sam to talk about it. People know that you're just making a movie, but at the same time, the level of commitment, you guys actually doing this movie at sea, you're better like the person you're working with.
I mean, because it was a very claustrophobic experience. A lot of the time there was 25 people stuck on that tiny little boat, and we were all kind of working around each other, and it got tough at times, and especially the first day that we set out, and there was you know, the smell of vomit in the air. You know, I think it was the best way to kind of get to know one another.
Very charming, those two together. And was anybody else shocked at how good this movie actually was?
Yes, that's exactly what I've been saying. I mean, I didn't expect it.
I think it helps too when you know it's a true story. When
Yeah.
you know it's based on something
Adds
real,
a layer
you
of
watch
meat.
it with different eyes.
It adds a layer. It does add a layer of meat, but it does add a layer of like you really connect to it, you really relate to it, which is a key to a good movie.
And I don't want to plot spoil, stock up on the peanut butter.
Yeah,
All right,
oh, yeah.
that's all I got for this week. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, as we wrap it up, as we finish this show, if you were stuck on a boat for 1 month and could only eat one thing, what would it be?
Oh man, Jolly Rancher.
I don't know if that's
No,
a great
can we-
nutrient. All right, Kelly?
Creme brulee.
Again, not so much with the nutrients. There's some egg in there.
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal?
Hey.
Me? Popcorn.
Ah!
Extra butter. And Felicity Jones.
Oh, of course.
I'm gonna go call my wife. You guys have a great rest of your
You
week.
do
It
that.
won't help. You're still in trouble.
She's gonna give you a divot again.
Oh, we'll cut that out.
The holy
Credits
water
still rolling?
wasn't enough.
Baby.
You sound like McNulty.
Right. I fell asleep right there.
Taissa.
Boys to Men, ABC, 3BD.
They were riding go karts.
Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. I need a body bag.
Hey, I hope you guys enjoy.
You want to see more? I know you do.
So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And turn on your notification button and click this thing right here to see more videos.
Stop doing that with your fingers.
It likes
Stop.
when I do this.
No,
Just
stop
like.
it. No.
Just click on it. Don't do
Don't
all
do
that.
that.
Don't do all that.
Just watch our videos.
Mike, make him stop. Turn him off.